Hey everybody, today is November 25th, 2022. I'm Gene,
And I'm Zane.
and you're hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. It has been a couple of weeks since we were able to do something.
Yeah, and apologies in advance, or afterwards, I guess, about the show last week. We wanted to try a little experiment again about online and not having to drive and do the show every time, trying to do it
Yeah,
in a different way, but it happens.
it does. But anyway, before we get started, please hit that subscribe button and that like button.
And you haven't hit the bell to get notifications for us in the future whenever we go live or put content up. And follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
For now, I guess, because I guess that's imploding, some people say. Like,
Speaking of Twitter,
yeah.
we were talking about earlier, man. I was looking at a tweet from Elon Musk talking about, are we tired of the culture war? And personally, I don't have a culture war. The only person or people, in my opinion, that have culture wars are the ones that are afraid of somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. I don't see it as a culture war, I guess, when I see you the same way I see myself, you know? Like,
Right.
that's kind of how I approach people. Everyone has their same equal ground, and wherever you set yourself personally is how I feel about you. Like, that's kind of just how it goes, you know?
I think we can all have disagreements on topics. That doesn't mean it's a culture war. It just means we're
Exactly.
human beings and think differently.
Well, there's a difference between, like, believing and understanding things differently and then just having a preconception of certain people are bad. You know what I mean? There's a difference in that. Like, those people need to go and educate themselves.
Man, how often have we talked about that?
Absolute ignorance, man. That's what it is in the world.
It really is. I mean, yeah, I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the small-mindedness. I'm tired of the uneducated. So I saw another thing. Somebody put on the back of their truck, Joe Biden is a traitor. But they spelled it like a traitor, like you're trading stock, not like a traitor, like you're betraying your country.
Oh, okay.
They're stupid.
What does that like entail? Just like he trades things a lot. Like, isn't that a good thing? Like,
But you can tell where they were going with it. They were saying he was an enemy to our country.
right? Yeah,
Not like he's a traitor like Benedict Arnold, not a traitor like we're trading stock.
yeah. It's not even the same like word.
But these mental midgets are out there putting this stupid shit out there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This shit just it drives me insane. It's the ignorance of our country. Like,
It really is.
What culture war? Like, stop it. Like, stop trying to I say it fucking too many times. Like, stop putting a label on something when it's literally just something that can just be so easy to say. Like, people are ignorant. Stop being ignorant. Go out
Yeah.
there and learn. Simple as that. Like, it's not even me putting a label on it. That's very vague. Like, some people won't even think they are, but that is the ignorance of it. Like,
And if you want to call it a culture war, to me, you're the one creating the animosity.
right. I
So
totally agree.
shut up, Elon, you dumbass.
Like, I totally agree about it. Like, I praise about my Nana all the time. You know, my Nana's been through some shit. She's marched. She sat and said no. Like, she turned 80 the other day. Like,
Yeah.
like, she's gone through, like, plenty of shit in her life and still approaches people as equals in her life. Black as hell. Like,
Right?
I'm gonna say, like, that's how she is. Like, she loves people equally for who they are. And people have asked her, like, how are you this way? Like, how do you feel? It's not you directly. It's how people have affected me directly. And I walk in those same shoes, man. Like, that's literally, like, how you should approach everyone and anybody
Yeah.
for the first time. Like, that's literally introducing yourself and meeting somebody. You don't judge them immediately when you pull up and say hi. You come up and say hi to them and judge them upon the reaction of that.
Right. I mean, it's the golden rule. You know, you treat
Exactly.
others the way you want to be treated.
Right, man. And isn't that in the book that a lot of these people pray, like, or read?
I remember reading that, you
Sure.
know. It was part of the red letters.
Like, so it's like, again, you got to be able to approach things humanely. That's how I look at it in the Zane world, is be humane towards people. People are human.
Yeah.
Like, they're not aliens. I hate that term. Like, fuck.
Well, you know how I feel about that. I get offended when I hear somebody else calling somebody alien.
Right. It's just,
no-
it frustrates me.
alien is just, it's not a negative connotation. It just means you're different. You have a difference of maybe where you were born or what you like to eat or what you like to watch on TV, it's alien to somebody else because they don't know. That's it.
Like, generations change. Like, the next generation in, like, every family changes and adapts to what's going on in their world. And I realized that, like, this kind of stuff, it changes over time. It really does. When time moves on, when I'm in your shoes and my kids are walking around the world, there's going to be another big opinion that they're going to be fighting for and talking about. That's what my nana thought for back when she was young. We're fighting right now for people's, sexuality, people's identity right now, basically.
Which brings up a good point, the World Cup.
Oh, man. Hold on. So it's like, it dies out eventually. And I'm not saying time will tell and wait. Like, fighting for it accelerates the process, obviously. But there's more good people out there than bad people out right now.
I think so.
And as long as it stays that way, there will always be an advance for us as humans, or Americans, I guess, because others are, like we said, with the World Cup, are having those other issues.
Right. Again, when we progress as a race, be progressive and stop living in a stagnant world or applying old beliefs, we're always going to have that animosity like we talked about, before, man.
Eventually that'll be gone, but or be less of or something. Like, again, the more we grow as a country in population, the more positive I see us going in a good direction. And right now with just seeing how things are changing, young people are standing up for the things that they believe in. I can see that being as I'm sitting in my rocking chair as an old man in the future, I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. It's in their hands. Yeah. I feel like some old people now these days don't want to let go. So, I don't know.
I know a few of them.
Yeah. That's just how it is, man. Let the youth move forward. We talk about it with our government all the time, too. We need new blood in there, too. But, yeah, let's get to this World Cup conversation.
Yeah.
Because it is bouncing off of what we're talking about now, is equal rights for people and having people have their own identities.
Globally.
People being born the way they are is not allowed at the World Cup right now, if you haven't known. Yes, international soccer is going on. That's great. But there's a huge issue with them not allowing women to be without a man around, or allowing men to be together around at the World Cup. When they literally said before they put a bid or whatever the fuck it is happens on how they get a position with it, is that, everyone's welcome. That's what they said.
You say what you say to get what you want, but then you do what you want once you get it.
It's everyone in their category, I guess, or their criteria, I guess, is the deal. They don't even allow, there are people like photographers and journalists are fighting to film around the stadium because they don't allow that either. Like, security literally threatens to smash cameras and stuff, like, to have them get away and not film around people. And like,
and that's why I enjoy freedom of the press here. Sometimes I may not like what the press says, but we have to have freedom of the press. So
isn't that an international kind of law?
No, it's honestly, that's why it's built into our Constitution in the First Amendment. One of our freedoms is freedom of the press. Freedom of the press, religion.
So journalists aren't able to go and journalize everywhere. Well, obviously, because there was a guy that was arrested one time, and I think he passed or whichever. But
journalists are looked at as the enemy because they don't want their negativity being reported around the world to make them look bad. So they jail journalists, like what they do in communist countries. Journalism is not free.
Damn. So I mean, those people are brave than shit for what they do out there. Because man, I couldn't. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, the World Cup is kind of a mess right now because people aren't allowed to be people at the World Cup that's meant to represent people.
And the World Cup too, just like the Olympics for soccer. Even though we now have soccer in the Olympics, it's bigger. Specifically just soccer worldwide.
I would say it's bigger than Olympic soccer, honestly. Even though Olympics, yes, are huge, like, you don't see this kind of turnout for something like the Olympics. Yeah, like it was such a vague conversation, the Olympics last time. The last Olympics was, no one talked about it. It was like going on, yeah, sure, like how many medals we got, cool, but like no one was like in depth and in tune. People are in tune to the World Cup right now. They're watching it while they're working.
Yeah, and the difference is, so you have the International Olympic Committee, which if they decide, well, the United States, we don't like what you're doing, so you're banned from the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
FIFA is its own organization, and
huge.
the entire world is welcome.
Huge.
So,
but not right now, apparently.
But that's just because of the place where it's being held.
Yeah.
Qatar. I mean, everybody pronounces it differently.
Yeah.
I've always heard it's the correct pronunciation is Qatar, but however you pronounce it, that's not the issue.
Right, true. But it's just like the issue is, allowing people to watch soccer or football. Sorry, that's also a big conversation right now.
and root for your country, be proud for your country, and just enjoy the sport, because honestly, soccer, basketball are about the only two sports, golf, that I know of that the rules are the same no matter where you go.
True, and don't they also have women's sports for those sports too?
Yes.
They have international leagues for those sports for women. So, I mean, that's kind of a big, that makes sense. Like,
right.
And women do play soccer. We have a women international soccer team.
I wish the men played better than the women here, but
the women kill it, man.
The men here in the United States, we traditionally don't do very well.
Is there a female World Cup?
Yeah,
there is.
Yes.
Honestly, I didn't know. No, I got to educate myself. Don't want to sound ignorant, I guess. But I mean, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Look at Mia Hamm and Brandi Chastain and the run that the United States women have had in women's FIFA Cup. Over the past, couple of decades.
I guess maybe me as a kid always thought that was Olympics or something like that, or just I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Then I have known about it. I'm just a dummy. That's just it. Man. Anyways, ignorance is alive. Get out there and educate people the best you can, honestly,
and just accept people for who they are. If they're not trying to do harm to you physically, emotionally, or monetarily,
they're trying to live their lives.
Just get along.
Yeah, they're trying to live their lives and be human.
Yeah. Now, you said something earlier about, new blood, and we just had our midterms, and I noticed that the Democrats have done something that you and I have been talking about and championing for a while. Nancy Pelosi got reelected. She's still in the House of Representatives.
But
she stepped down from leadership, and they're letting new young blood step in and run the party in D.C.
Oh, shit.
Hakeem Jeffries from New York, a Muslim, will be in charge of the Democratic caucus in the House of Representatives now.
Dope.
Progressing.
That sounds sick.
We're moving forward.
Thank God. We need new people in there. I've been saying it. Get the young bloods in, man. Good. I mean, honestly, hopefully that shows a lot. It's a big move, obviously, for Pelosi to step down, even though she was still in office,
Yeah.
That's a big move, but hopefully it shines a light on others that have been holding positions for a long time to also do the same thing.
And honestly, it reminds me of George Washington when he was the first president, right? And he served his first 2 terms, and they wanted him to keep going, and he's like, no, we just left the king. It's time for somebody else to step in, and we've had successors in the presidency.
There we go. Yeah. We really it should be that way. We should have new guys in there who represent the current, I would say, represent our current American beliefs better, I guess.
I feel like when I look at least the Democratic Party, they're much more diverse than the Republican Party, more representative of what this country actually looks like. And again, progressing. I'm glad to see it going that way.
Yeah, same. I really am too. Hopefully that, like I said, it does a little trickle down effect and more decide to do the same. Go retire, man.
I hope so.
Go chill.
Yeah. Train the person coming up behind you. So it's I look at it like I taught my kids how to drive.
Right. True.
They got to get on and now drive themselves. They can't rely on me to drive them their entire life.
Right.
It's just maybe it's not the best correlation or analogy, but
it is what it is. Like, I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, I worked at a job that I, had a leadership position for a certain time and trained people to move up and be in those new positions, new people, who had new ideas. It kept things flowing. It kept things going. It made things more, not more interesting, but a little bit more fresh. Yeah. Yeah, that's literally was the word, fresh. Yeah. It refreshed the atmosphere. It made, it represented the current, morale of what the company was. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like how I feel about it, is with new people going in, new ideas, new energy, like wanting to go do new things, thinking of innovative new things. Yeah, I think that it's a good positive move.
Definitely. I mean, again, not trying to beat a dead horse, but
Right.
we progress from having lanterns to light bulbs. Being progressive is a good thing.
We literally talked about explosions bringing us like rockets and airplanes and cars, because all those run off a little combustion explosions on the inside of the engine and all that shit. So it's like, yeah, like if without us moving forward and discovering new things and bringing out new ideas, we wouldn't be where we are now. And staying stale and staying where we are is not a good deal.
It never is.
No.
It never is. I mean, even the way we cook.
I feel like it's kind of affecting us right now, actually. Like, that's the big effect right now, is that our government doesn't represent us to the truest form, and it's causing people to act up and be the way they are today.
Look at sports. I remember when I was a kid, I mean, if you had some Chuck T's, you were the man.
Shoes,
you were balling,
yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, I try and play basketball in Chuck T's now versus some
Way
Air
back
Jordans or
when,
some
yeah.
I mean, it's like we have to progress.
Exactly.
We have to stay up to date with the technology to make ourselves better.
Helmets in football, golf clubs and golf balls, everything's have advanced in the future. Cars themselves.
Yeah,
Like,
we have I mean, just we can go on and on.
I mean, honestly, we really could, but like, I do think, yeah, it's time for just a new take on government.
It really is, man, and
It's a bigger, it's more and more of a conversation I've heard, honestly. Like, other people are talking about, we need to do some changes, and not necessarily just changes within just like people, but like changes towards our government itself.
and what we need to do to improve our country and laws we need to pass to make our society better.
Yep, exactly. So I like that being more of a conversation.
Definitely,
Yeah.
man. So as a matter of fact, I even heard something today, man. I've tried to forward it to you, but Market Watch was saying there's a very good possibility before this Congress ends, while Democrats still have control of the House and Senate, that marijuana banking will pass.
Round of applause.
Yes.
Yes. Like, thank
Pay
goodness.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out there. Find your space. Like, no, that's so true. That's so true. We can get on market conversations right now too, because that's a good deal. Pay yourself, definitely. But yeah, that's a big business, a big move for business in the future.
Yeah.
I feel, and again, we've talked about marijuana multiple times on our show, that it is the next cash crop to our country, and it can open so many more outlets to not necessarily just the usage, but jobs themselves.
Exactly.
It builds economies. We talked about how Canada was able to fund their own self-defense with the money they raised or some shit. Like, what the hell?
and how they've already started the trade, sending cannabis to Israel and Germany and places abroad in Europe. I mean, it's a growing industry. It's in my opinion, the brand new industry, the industry we need to pay attention to, the industry to grow our economy.
It's literally, I feel like it's our stepping stone to going into a cleaner economy, and then you'll see more of like a, like not fossil fuels falling off and electric companies moving up on the chain because of electric cars and a cleaner energy usage. I feel like marijuana is a good step to show that if we advance and do new things and try to do new things within our country, we can build our economy better. And especially with advancements, again, with electric stuff these days. I like Toyota came out with their new big, or GMC came out with their new big electric car, and it has this huge light up GMC on the front. Yeah. It's sick looking. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know if you've even noticed this, man, but There's a company called Aptera, Aptera, that is marketing solar-powered cars.
Really?
Yes. They look kind of funky. They're 3 wheels, 2 in the front and 1 in the back.
Uh-huh.
But the hood and the roof of the car have solar panels, and it's a solar-powered car.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, for those who park their cars outside and don't have the outlet to plug in their car all the time, like,
right.
There you go. Like, that literally would help those people. Jeez, man. I love, again, advancements in technology. Like, that's huge, honestly. Like, more solar, please. Like, I've asked for that for the beginning of the show. What are we on, 88? So, you got 88 episodes. Like,
yeah.
Solar. Like, do it.
Again, 88 episodes, and you've heard me say it before. I still can't believe that my house is the only one on this block that has
solar panels. Yeah, I've noticed that. That's how I know what house is yours. Like the solar panels. There should be more of them, and honestly, I feel like they should be cheaper. They really should be cheaper. I know you've paid out of pocket for those, but it saved you in the future, of course. But like, if they were cheaper and more accessible to people, I can see that becoming a thing.
Well, I know the technology has become more efficient.
That's good.
You know, and so I've had my panels on for 5 years now, and only because of the laws in the state do I have to have connected to the grid. So every month I think it's like $8 I have to pay to APS, and that's my electric bill. The rest is paying for my solar panels. That's my electric bill, is paying for my solar panels.
And it gets cheaper and cheaper, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Can you refinance those? Like,
sure.
Really? So
Yeah.
if it gets to a certain point, you just change the price.
Yeah.
That's sick. Like, I need solar panels in the future. Hear that, man? Like, no.
Exactly.
Exactly, though. Like, they are the future. We've talked about Arizona being the solar panel of the country, and yet I still don't see that happening. Like, but
you know, again, that's because our energy is, run. A lot of other states have like energy commissions or stuff like that. Here in Arizona, we call it the Corporation Commission, and because they're run by Republicans, that's the only reason I still have to pay a connection fee. They would
really
condemn my house if I was not connected to the grid, even though I have solar.
Really?
Yes.
That's so dumb. Like, okay, then maybe, that needs to change too. Like, but, man, I just feel like we're suppressed from our government too much here. That's just literally all our conversation has been about, is just being suppressed by our government, holding us back.
I totally agree, and I think the reason for that is greed. Our politicians are governing as if their offices were ATM machines instead of governing for you and me.
Like, I understand it's your job. I understand you get paid for it. Good. Like, you should. It's a big responsibility. But treat it like it's a job. Like, and be responsible and do your damn job.
You're an elected official to represent me, not corporate America.
Exactly. And that's exactly what is in charge most of the time, is corporations, which also represent themselves as people, apparently, and within our government, too.
And that's why lobbyists and corporations, they're the ones that have the ear of our politicians because they pay them money. I'm just a voter.
Right. And what I vote for is basically what I'm expecting to happen, right? Or the outcome of voting. Like,
just keep your campaign promise. Don't be a Kirsten Sinema and say, I'm going to be a vote to raise the minimum wage and then go to D.C. and vote no on it. Fucking bitch.
Yeah, that shit just, I don't know. False promises is what fuels flame, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, American people have come back out and voted more than ever, of course. And
young people.
And that was the big tide that helped the midterms, was young people.
So here's the thing, and this is why I get so upset with gerrymandering, because more people voted Democrat, yet the House flipped to Republicans because of gerrymandering. Has nothing to do with the number of people that voted. Our districts are gerrymandered to where politicians are picking who their constituents are instead of constituents voting for the politician or the political representative we want.
Right. No, and finding loopholes to get certain people in. Our electoral college thing is shit. Like, it's so funny that other countries make fun of us for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you see many memes if you actually hop over the fence and look at, like, UK memes and stuff like that. Like, there are certain threads that are based off of it, and they make fun of us about all the shit that's happening over here.
Yeah.
Even the shootings that recently have happened.
They make fun of us over our healthcare system. Why do you guys
Literally,
still have
what's
private
going to be the next
insurance?
thing I say? Why don't you have health insurance? And yeah, we can say, oh yeah, and like make fun of them and like in any other way that you possibly can. But like that's true and real. Like,
So, and
yes, they can make.
We only have a few minutes, and we got to get into
Yeah.
our dumbass. But
Yeah.
my thing is, health insurance is not the answer. I support universal health care because there's still over 500,000 Americans every year that file bankruptcy over medical bills, even though they have health insurance.
That's crazy.
What's wrong with this picture?
Right, that's supposed to help them be able to pay for
Insurance is not the issue. That's why don't represent the health insurance industry. Represent me.
it. Exactly. No, I totally agree with you, man. All right, let's hop into it. So we got our final, be the end of it here. But we have our dumbass of the week.
Man, you know what? Honestly,
You go ahead, man.
I try to pick somebody new, you know, every time, but Herschel Walker won't let me.
All right, go ahead.
This dumbass made a comment how the United States is the greatest country in America.
Ooh. Yep.
The United States is the greatest country in America. The United States is the country of America, you dumbass. And not only that, when he filed his taxes, he's a resident of the state of Texas. Why is he running for Senate in Georgia?
I don't know. Did he move?
No.
Like, no.
No.
He didn't move?
His taxes, he still filed as a Texas resident.
He didn't change his billing address?
No.
Yo. Bro, pick up after yourself. What are you doing?
You know?
Like, what is he doing in Georgia, man? Come on now. He really shouldn't be
He
representing
played
out
football there. He was a Heisman Trophy winner there. Played back in the 80s, like 40 years ago. But he's a dumbass.
there. So wait, time out. So I know we've talked about it before. So with Herschel Walker, him running he's from Texas.
He's a resident of the state of Texas. If you look at his tax filings, yeah, he's not even a resident of Georgia.
Jesus.
But that team factor, because he's on my team,
The
I don't
team
care
factor,
where he
bro.
lives. I'm going to vote for him because he's on my team.
Exactly. Georgia Bulldogs, bro.
You know, but I'm thinking Republicans. That's their
Man.
team.
Yeah, true. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, Herschel, you're a dumbass. And I hope the people of Georgia recognize that shit and reelect Raphael Warnock. But
That's crazy.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, well, mine is a little different. It's a different kind of story I'm going to take approach on. Disney had an ho, and is it Chapek? Bob Chapek?
Yeah.
He had a little uh-oh. He seems to be a little let go, and they're having the old guy who was there before him hop back into his place temporarily so they find somebody to fill his position.
Bob Iger,
Yeah, about 2 years, I think that's what they said. But he just shifted budgets to disguise their monetary loss for Disney Plus, their streaming service. Whoopsies, dumbass.
You can't play with the money, man.
No, you can't. And numbers don't lie. A very famous streamer that I watch says it. Numbers don't lie. I love looking at graphs too and charts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some people who are behind this love looking at graphs and charts too and realize that don't make sense. So yeah, Bob's my dumbass of the week this week because I thought the story was hilarious. And thank God the old guy's back in for a new guy to step in, just like what we were talking about.
Right.
Earlier. Fresh blood, man. Let's get it in there.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Anyways, I forgot to talk about what I'm smoking today.
Oh, well, let everybody know.
Well, I hope everybody had a wonderful week. Hope everybody's had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend and you're enjoying your muse of the night. And mine is, what is this called? 22 a.m.
Nice.
Interesting. It's really good. I'm very airy right now, if you can tell. Very light. I like it. It's a good one.
And, well, remember I had to put the bong down because of my asthma. But,
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
know, edibles don't affect asthma.
Hey, man. I'm pulling the weight over here. I got Don't mind me.
So yeah, I've been having these tropical fruit gummies by OGs.
You know, girlfriend loves OGs.
Yes,
They're a good brand.
I'm a big fan. I like it.
Good. No, that's good, man. What is it? 3 milligrams or
30.
Sheesh. My man's in the 30s.
And it's weird. It's like, so I noticed the difference. It's like from smoking, the high is kind of instant, but with an edible, it's like, okay, you know, and about an hour later, you're like, why do I feel high? I haven't smoked anything.
Yeah.
You forgot you had an edible.
And it's like a different high, too. It's more body. It's more
Yeah.
relaxing feeling, to my
Much
understanding.
more.
Yeah, not as much in the eyes, more in the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good. I'm glad you found a good brand. I'm glad you found some.
I'm digging it,
Britt
man.
has, she has 10s at home right now, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, so I haven't seen her have one. Oh, man, but anyways, is that all? I think that's all the time that we have today.
Yeah.
It is, man.
It is.
It flew. Hope you guys, again, had a wonderful Thanksgiving and you have a wonderful weekend. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.